time for Mac Geek Gab, and I'll bring us our quick tip of the week. In iOS 26, if you go into Settings, Apps, Phone, not Settings Cellular, but Settings, Apps, Phone, you now can set some new things. You can set the default calling app. It can be your cellular connection. It could be WhatsApp. It could be FaceTime audio. There are options in there. There are also options in there for what to do with spam calls, with call filtering. It's not just unknown callers anymore. You can actually tell it to say, if calls are identified by your carrier as spam, send those to voicemail. There's lots of options, including the ones for screening unknown callers, which take far more time to go through than this quick tip, and we will do more of that, plus more quick tips, plus you'll find out why at least two of us are liars here today on Mac Geek Gab 1109 for Monday, September 29th, National Biscotti Day, 2025. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Mac Geek Gab, the show where we share quick tips like that. We share cool stuff found that you or we send in, same with quick tips. And we share questions, candidly, that you or we come up with, and hopefully some answers or at least some assistance down the troubleshooting path. Our sponsors for this week include some new ones and some longtime favorites and one returning sponsor. The returning sponsor is Zapier.com/MacGeekGab. Zapier is a tool that we've been using for a long time, and now you can transform how you work with Zapier and the AI stuff they've integrated. ConstantContact.com is where you can go to try Constant Contact to make your marketing easier, and you try that free for 30 days. The Insta360 GO Ultra is the new camera from Insta360. It's about the size of an Oreo and does 4K at 60 frames per second. And you can get some sticky tabs with your purchase using code MGG at Insta360 or using the link in our show notes. And a brand new sponsor for us, PAKAapparel.com/MGG. We're using code MGG. Lets you grab your PAKA hoodie like the one I'm wearing here. This thing's amazing. It's warm and thin. Like, it's like the most comfortable hoodie, and yet you could go wear it out to dinner. It's amazing. And you get a free pair of Alpaca crew socks when you use code MGG. We'll talk more about all that in a little bit. For now, back here in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And here in South Dakota, I'm Adam Christensen.
And here also in New Hampshire, it's Pilot Pete. Good to be back with you guys. I'm not sure if that's a lie or not, but one of us is.
I don't think that's the lie.
Okay, shoo.
Before we get into our lying hearts here, not cheating hearts, just lying hearts. I want to make sure everybody knows that there's a few days left in our monthly giveaway with UniFi, where we're giving away the UniFi Cloud Gateway Fiber and U7 Pro XG. So make sure to go to MacGeekGab.com/giveaway for that. And but yes, we're all liars. Well, two of us are liars, I believe, because I have an orange iPhone 17 Pro on the way. It'll probably arrive today. So,
woohoo! Oh,
I made a decision.
I know who the other guy is.
I have reasons for this. There was a bit of an incentive that I created for myself. But Pete, I believe you are joining me in this particular group today.
I are a liar. Yeah, I broke down and got the 17 Pro Max.
All right.
Because now that I am in the retired club, I'm having to turn my FedEx iPad back in. Oh. And I need a large screen to navigate with. And rather than buy an iPad, I figured I'd use the nice large iPhone screen for my charting while flying. So, and if for those that think it can't be done, I know someone who's flown a single engine Grumman across the Atlantic Ocean 4 times now using nothing more than an iPhone 5. So it can be done.
That's
but,
amazing.
Yeah, I wanted the 7-inch screen instead of that. I don't know, what is that, 3.5? Whatever the 5 is, it's tiny.
Right. No, that makes sense. But whoa.
Yeah.
Talk about burying the lead here. I know we've talked about this off the air. I am now finding out that it is public for the first time, and everyone else is finding out for the first time. Congratulations, Pete.
Yeah, thanks.
On your retirement. Holy cow.
I'm done, yeah. So,
wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I've never been busier in my life. Well,
Yeah.
I'm out on medical. Haven't worked since November. There's a slight chance they could get me to try and come back, but
okay. All right.
It's going to be tough.
Chance.
A lot of work. Yeah, I got to try and get that medical squared away, and I don't see that happening. I could be wrong. But in the interim, I'm going to have to turn my equipment in. So yeah,
sure.
Like I say, never been busier in my life since I haven't been working.
Well, congratulations. That's amazing.
Yes.
I know you've had a long career there, and
30 years next month.
Amazing.
So just shy of 30 years.
Amazing.
I
Amazing.
was thinking of sticking with it, but couldn't hang it.
The reason I'm a liar, every year when we get new phones, we roll things down and bounce them through the family, and then we always save one phone to be our insurance policy, our spare. That's how we insure ourselves, is by keeping a phone around for that. And nowadays we actually keep two spares around. One is the United States spare, and the other is the Italy spare, because we have family members living in Italy. So now we have two spares in the system, but it's fine. It all works out. And then we sell whatever's left over. If there's always leftovers. We bought 3 phones last year because I wanted everybody in the family to be on a phone that could support Apple Intelligence.
Right.
And that has not really paid off, although it kind of has. It's not.
Well, if only they roll out Apple Intelligence.
If only. Yeah. There's some things that we all get to do, and that's a good thing. It's fine. But
sure.
Could be better. I think if I had known where it was going to be by this point, I don't think I would have bought 3 phones last year. But whatever. But that meant we had quite a few phones to sell off last year. And up until a week and a half ago, I had sold exactly none of them. I put them all in a drawer and got, sidetracked and all of the things, and never really came back to it. And so when I decided, I don't really need it, 17 or whatever this year, like I've got what I need, and Apple kind of burned me last year, although I wasn't really sour about that. But that was like, that I could use that reasoning to support my decision not to buy a new phone. But it's atypical for me. I think this would have been the first time I never bought a phone. The closest to it was when the iPhone 10 came out. I waited and bought the 10R that year.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I've always bought one. And so this year I said, okay, I have to sell off these phones. Like it's ridiculous having this pile of e-waste. I had 4 phones that we needed to sell off. Well, one is like super cracked, and so I just sold that to Gazelle. It was an old iPhone 10, actually, with a cracked back that I got like $53 from Gazelle for. So that, hey,
okay.
I know. It was like, all right, great. I'm not going to worry about trying to find somebody on eBay that wants a phone with a cracked back, trying to deal with that. So it was like, great, Gazelle takes it. But the other 3 I sold on eBay, and it worked out great. And I made way more than half of what the 17 Pro would cost me. And
nice.
And it keeps us, with things in the rotation, which is good. So that's my excuse. I
had a similar thing. I had my phone, but the problem is my sister has a laser etching business, and
Sure.
so I had her laser etch the show logo in the back of my 16 Pro, which meant that it was scratched and therefore valueless for trade-in as far as Apple was concerned. And so, but I had Debbie's 12, so I turned that in for a cool $140.
All right. Yeah, I mean, sure. Why
You
not?
know, better. Yeah, I do. I was shocked that a 12 was worth 140 still. So,
And that was to Gazelle, not even to
no, Apple. That's Apple's
to
trading.
to
Gazelle
Apple.
might have been more. You know, actually, I didn't even. I should have looked at that. But
So here's my experience with this. I've tried trading in with Apple before. I have never successfully traded in with Apple because every single time, and I mean, you know, here I'm speaking like this is universal. The 2 or 3 times that I've attempted to trade in with Apple, I send it. They tell me what the value is. I send it in, and when they get it, they say, "Oh, it's worth $30 less or $50 less.
yeah,
Take it or leave it." And I always say, leave it. Like send me the phone back. You pay shipping 2 ways on this, you know. And then, but before I say leave it, I look at what Gazelle or you know, somebody else would offer me on that day, because now I've waited 2 weeks, and you know, usually it's right around the time that new phones are coming out, so prices are dropping. But I make sure that I'm going to get more from Gazelle, and I do, and then I send it to Gazelle, and that's the end of it. So, and I've sold to other places too. Gazelle's not the only one, but Apple has been not the best at sticking to the value that they have
interesting.
assigned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our best luck has been with Facebook Marketplace and the local yard sale places that, you know, like, for instance, there's a Durham Marketplace.
To me, that's different.
Yeah.
That's different from Apple or Gazelle, though, because those are like...
Absolutely. Those are wholesale pricing.
Wholesalers, whereas you're talking retail to like eBay or Facebook or those kinds of things. Yeah. I forget about Facebook Marketplace. That's a good... Yeah.
That's the only place I'd be able to sell stuff here.
Is that right, Adam? Facebook
Small town Midwest, everything is, I think I've talked about this, everything is through Facebook. I wouldn't be on Facebook if I wasn't living where I'm living. Typically, but like to the point where like all businesses, like they say, go to my website. Well, their website is their Facebook page. Like, they
I see what you're saying.
Actually call it a website. It's like, you don't have a website. You have a Facebook page.
Yes.
That's okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That or a yard sale. I could have a yard sale. Or people love their yard sales here too.
Yeah.
I got some monitors. Actually, Jerry was asking for a monitor update. The monitors are great, Jerry. Just to answer the question, so I upgraded to these LG 4K ultrafine 27-inch displays, and they're wonderful. But I have 2 monitors I have to sell now. 2 old monitors I need to get some
you
cash
could
for.
sell them on eBay. Like when I'm selling on eBay, I'm shipping to all over the country too. So
yeah, but I could literally I have no doubt I can put this on the local Facebook marketplace and someone will come get them, you know, like $50 a piece or something like that, you know.
Yeah, I'm obviously I could do that here too. I don't want to be the one that my neighbor bought their iPhone from. And then have them come to me for support.
For warranty work?
Correct. Yeah, because I mean, I'm who I am. I mean, we've been doing this 20 years. Like, if someone comes to me with a question, I want to answer it, right? And it's true. If my neighbors come to me, I'm happy to answer their questions. If they need, like, serious work done, you know, then we work out something where I'm compensated for my time. But otherwise, I just give that away, and I love it. Like it's obviously I love it, but I have to work hard not to over invite it locally here. So that is when you had mentioned Facebook Marketplace, it's like, oh, not if I have to sell it to somebody that I'm going to see at the grocery store. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Right. I want to be just as anonymous to them as they are to me. Yep.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. You don't get to follow me home after you buy my phone.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You don't come to my house to get it either. We're not doing any of that. That's right. Yeah.
So yeah. Hey, and here's one. Always meet in a public place like a police station or something like that. My daughter got robbed selling her iPhone about a year ago now. The guy was, looking at it, playing with it, and turned and beat feet in the parking lot of her apartment complex. And so
that sucks.
Yeah, it really did. So So, I said, and you didn't have your pistol on you? She's like, no, I didn't even think about it. Like,
Yeah, right.
but I don't think you're allowed to shoot somebody in the back for running away with your iPhone. I could be wrong.
Not probably a good thing to do. No,
I wouldn't. No, it's not. And
it would feel good.
No.
Violence is never the answer.
It's never. No, you let it just. I mean, the fact that your daughter walked away safely.
Absolutely.
From that is the most important thing.
Absolutely.
Like that was the part when you said he turned and ran. It was like, okay, thank goodness.
Yeah,
There was no
it wasn't.
violence.
He didn't.
There was no violence threatened.
Pull a weapon and say, "Give me your phone" or anything like
Sure.
that. He was looking through it like, "Oh, gee, I want to see if I want to buy it. Is this
Yeah.
right?" And then he just turned to beat feet, and
Yeah.
so
Yep.
I don't think it would have happened at a police station. I could be wrong, but
You never know, but right,
Yeah.
but you're right. Yeah.
So
The other one that I've used is Swappa, SWAPPA.com.
Cool.
So,
right.
yeah. So,
It's interesting. Probably a quick tip or a tip if you are selling an old iPhone like that, don't reset it until maybe after it's been purchased.
money in hand. That's a great idea, Adam.
Because then you can lock it. Like if they run away, you just put
Make
on
it useless to 'em.
your lock. Yeah.
oh, I like that.
Just be upfront with the seller. Be
great.
like, I will unlock it once you can just tell them it's still in my, but I will wipe it remotely and unlock it when you.
Yeah.
I hadn't
When
even
we've
thought of that.
completed the
That's a great
transaction.
idea.
Yeah, I like that. Yep.
You just
Makes
bought,
sense.
or you just ran away with a paperweight.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
That's fine, Kiwi. You can unlock it right there after they hand you the cash. KiwiGram in the chat was saying, but I wouldn't hand cash over till I see it unlocked. And it's like, that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's like at some point you have to choose that there's going to be trust thrown into this equation somewhere, but you can limit the amount of time that happens. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. All right, we have all
a
kinds
quick
of
tip or
things.
two.
We have a lot more quick tips to go through, and then we have a lot more other stuff too. But the next thing that I want to do is tell you about our sponsors. Starting with the PAKA hoodie that I got yesterday. Folks, it's game over. This thing is ridiculously comfortable. I've worn it 2 days in a row, and I'm not the only one who's noticed. Lisa, my wife, she loves how it feels. And Puck, our cat, yep, he's literally trying to steal snuggle time in it. It's soft, breathable, and cozy without being heavy. It feels like that cozy hoodie that you just want to snuggle up on the couch with, and you can with this, but it's also thin and lightweight. So, like, you could wear it at the dinner. I can wear it in the studio while playing drums, traveling, just relaxing, whatever. It's made from alpaca fiber, hence the name, which is one of the most sustainable materials out there. It's softer than cashmere, warmer than wool. PAKA nailed it. Plus, every hoodie is handcrafted in Peru by artisans who stitch their name into the tag. Let me look here. It says handmade by Lily A. PAKA. So there you go. And right now, when you order, PAKA will throw in a free pair of their legendary alpaca crew socks. Cozy, odor-resistant, and backed with a lifetime guarantee. Really, wear them out. They'll send you a new pair, if you can wear them out. Don't get caught in an uncomfortable hoodie again. To grab your PAKA hoodie and your free pair of alpaca crew socks, head to go.pakaapparel.com/MGG and use our code MGG. That's go.pakaapparel.com/MGG and enter code MGG. We'll also have that link in the show notes on the website and in the email we send you, of course. And our thanks to PAKA for sponsoring this episode. And you know how we love gear that's small, smart, and powerful. And that's exactly what excites me about Insta360's new Go Ultra, right? I haven't used one yet, but I've been geeking out over this thing. It's the size of an Oreo. It weighs just 53 grams and somehow shoots buttery smooth 4K 60 frame per second video. Yes, 4K 60 in something that literally fits in your pocket. It's got a magnetic mount system that you clip it to your hat, your shirt, your bike, your whatever, or just slap it onto a metal surface and get some crazy creative angles, right? That kinds of hands-free shooting is a game changer. And with the upgraded 1x1.28-inch sensor and built-in stabilization, even your low light and action shots look amazing. And it charges from 0 to 80% in Just 12 minutes. Grab a coffee or some tea if you're like me. Come back and boom, you're ready to roll. It even works with Apple's Find My in case you drop it mid-adventure. So it's like good to go. It's built into our ecosystem. And to bag of free sticky tabs to help you mount the camera everywhere from winter down jackets to outdoor jackets to backpacks with your Insta360 GO Ultra purchase, head to store.insta360.com and use our promo code MGG, available for the first 30 purchases only. For more information, be sure to check out the links that we've got in the show notes at macgeekgab.com. And our thanks to Insta360 for sponsoring this episode. All right.
Yeah.
More quick tips. More quick tips.
Yeah. Let's do some quick tips. And this isn't part of the ads, but I'm currently using the Insta360 Link 2C camera as we record this show. Love the camera. And another little known fact, my sister used to be an alpaca rancher. Alpaca wool is the most fantastic clothing I've ever owned. Go get some PAKA stuff. You'll love it.
There you go.
Yeah.
I've never worn alpaca before, Pete.
It's amazing, isn't it?
I put this thing on. I haven't wanted to take it off. It's amazing. It's like thin, warm. I know we need to get back to the show. But you're right. This was not scripted.
All the properties of wool, moisture wicked away from the body, but super warm, love my alpaca gear, ski socks especially. So anyway. Now I should take us to our next quick tip of the day. Our second one, I think it is. Joe wrote in and he said, with all the noise about liquid glass at WWDC, I missed the news that iOS finally has its own version of Preview. It's actually pretty powerful. And that's from Joe M. I summarized it, but I wrote to him also. I said, I remember the Preview app being talked about, but with information coming so fast, I basically ignored it. I was like, yeah, okay, that's
sure.
And I've not been a big files user on iOS for the very reason that you didn't have the ability to do the things you wanted to do with the files. And with iOS 26, all that's changed. You get with PDF and images, you've got centralized viewing. You can do basic edits like rotate, crop, resize, export to HEIC, .jpeg, .pdf, .png, and TIFF. PDF features, you can do markup and annotation with a pencil or your finger. Autofill forms, scan directly to multi-page PDFs, and then the image features, you can create new images from scratch or from a clipboard, blank images, all that stuff. So go play with the Preview app in iOS and tell us what you're doing with it. Just shoot us an email at feedback@macgeekgab.com and tell us what you're doing with it.
I have not. This, I knew there was a Preview app. I don't think I've launched it yet. So thank you, Joe. Have you messed with it, Adam?
I have not messed with it too much. I did notice it came up when I was doing some things where I was clicking on some PDFs, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Kept popping open Preview or whatever. But beyond that, not really messed with it too much yet.
Huh. Yeah, I'm just launching it here. I
played with it and was shocked at how much cool stuff you can do with Preview in iOS. So
amazing. Wow. Exporting to, okay. All right. Yep. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Cool.
Should I take us to Terry? Yeah.
Please. Yeah.
Terry says, hey, just listening to the show. Thanks for the call out about car widgets in CarPlay. So you have widgets now. We talked about that on the last episode. Or couple episodes back, I don't remember, but I just wanted to point out that when I used the ChatGPT in the widget, my phone has to be facing up. It can't be facing down or it thinks the phone is asleep.
That's
that makes
that
sense.
Doesn't work. Well, it you know what? Yes, it does make sense. However, if it's going to be on the CarPlay screen, at the very least, in my humble opinion, it should tell you that it's going to require like when I push the button and it doesn't work, it should tell me the phone needs to be face up or whatever. Like, candidly, it shouldn't be allowed to be a CarPlay widget if it requires interaction with the phone,
right,
to use. It's like, like, why? If I'm going to mess with my phone, well, now we've completely we've broken the seal. Like, so.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't know. Like that.
And now you're into your $500 fine range if you're driving in New Hampshire doing it, So
correct. Right. Yeah. But I mean, we've said it on other episodes too. I love the enhancements to CarPlay, but there are these things that it just feels like Apple hasn't fully fleshed out. Like, or the one where if my 2025 Outback, I did not have this problem with my 2018 Outback, by the way. But with my 2025 Outback, if the car is moving, I only get like 15 or 20 items in a list on the screen, including like Apple Music, but also third-party apps. Like every app is affected by this. As soon as the car stops, then I get the full list of apps. So if I'm going into Apple Music and I wanted to, kind of find something that was below letter B, I can't while the car is moving. So guess what I'm going to do if I want to get to something in the H's? I'm going to pick up my phone and do it there, which is like I just don't see where it's safer. But hopefully Apple will continue to iterate on this in a way that pleases me. I know that's their entire goal in life, is to please me. Speaking of ChatGPT, make sure if you have a ChatGPT account, even if it's just a free account, you can go into System Settings, Apple Intelligence, and Siri, and if you can turn on the ChatGPT extension so that Siri is capable of using ChatGPT. And then you can sign into your own ChatGPT account so that whatever you interact with there, gets the benefits of your paid account if you have a paid account, but also ties into the data store of your ChatGPT account so that you've kind of got all this stuff tied in together. So and you may also choose that you don't want that to happen, and that's also fine. So then that way ChatGPT is not, OpenAI is not storing your stuff. But yes, be aware of that out there. So that's all. Sign in if you like. Not mandatory.
I had not signed in. Cool. I
thought I had signed in, and it was not. I just happened to notice it. I was like, oh, well, that's a quick tip. So, yep. Adam, are you finished signing in and ready to take us to J.K. Dawson?
Oh, I didn't know we were already to that tip.
I think
Sorry.
So. That's okay. Yeah.
Yes. J.K. Dawson says, photo backups. If you are an Amazon Prime member, Amazon will give you unlimited photo storage at no additional cost. Note, video is not unlimited. They also support RAW formats, and they process the photos to identify people and such. I have not done a detailed comparison of their facial recognition versus Apple's. The desktop Amazon Photos app does a good job of crawling your internal and external drives and finding and uploading every photo it finds, but it can drive high CPU usage. So just be aware of that. I mean, that's great.
I had no idea. And
I mean, great tip. I'm so private about my photos.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if I would let Amazon and just Jeff Bezos rummage through my photo library, just personally. But that's
Amazon Prime customers get unlimited full resolution photo storage plus 5 gigs of video storage. And with Family Vault, I'm skipping over some things, so I might actually be skipping over some things. With Family Vault, Amazon Prime members can invite up to 5 members to receive unlimited photo storage and collect photos together. Fascinating.
Interesting. Yeah.
I'll have to think about that. Yeah. Yeah.
Have those photos as many places as you can, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Our neighbors lost all their kids' photos from before age 10 when their computer crashed. I don't know, 20 years ago now. But
that sucks.
Yeah.
No, that's not good.
Yeah. Fortunately, they had friends who had some photos, but
sure.
Some of them are lost forever.
Yeah. All right. You want to take us to Uncle Jamie?
I do. So I found this on our Discord help desk place, and Uncle Jamie wrote in, and then later I found a solution, and then down at the bottom found that he found it as well. So He found his own answer, but he wrote in, says, I've been frustrated with how difficult it is to add a specific image to a contact card. Imagine this scenario. You create a contact card for a business that you expect to use more than once. You want to add their logo from their website to their contact card. It's pretty easy to copy the logo from the web browser, but then what? It's amazing to me that I can't just paste it into the contact card. It wants me to jump through a bunch of hoops of adding something from my photos library or creating a Genmoji. He says, I've got the image on my clipboard already. Am I doing something wrong? What's a good workflow for this? And then he goes, I do have one quick tip for doing this. You can just drag the graphic from the web page directly to the image placeholder in contacts, then resize and crop as needed. And you don't even need to be in the edit mode. I played with this. You can just drag the image right onto the little circle next to their name in contacts in macOS, and there it is. Then you can resize and crop, et cetera, et cetera. And in his thing, he said you need to arrange the windows so you can drag one from the other. And Ben got in there and pointed out you don't need to prearrange the windows. Once you pick up the image, you can use Command Tab or whatever other app switcher that you use to bring contacts to the front, and then just drop it in there. So that's a good way to get a photo into a contact card that doesn't otherwise already have one.
Okay, so I have two things. First of all, wow. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Love this. The whole time you were sharing this tip, I think my mouth was probably, if you look back at the video, mouth probably hanging on.
Close your mouth, Dave. You're going to catch flies.
Yeah. But secondly, the issue of you need to have your windows arranged so that you can go from one to the other is I use an app called Yoink. We talked about it on the show. I think they even they sponsored the show. We did some giveaways. Yoink solves that problem. What you described there is that problem, right? And what that Yoink solves, because as soon as you start dragging something, anything, it could be an image from a web page, it could be a file from the Finder or whatever, the little Yoink, it's like a trough. I call it a trough, but it's not at the bottom. It just pops out from the side of the screen. I think you can decide where it comes. I have mine in the upper right, which I believe is the default. And then you just put it on the trough, and the trough stays there until you drag it out of the trough, and then it goes away and you forget that it ever existed. So in those situations where you can't, or it's not easy to have the windows up, and you don't want to have to do the one-handed drag and move and Command Tab, that's where Yoink shines. So it was just a perfect opportunity to explain what Yoink does without being able to show you what Yoink does. So yeah. Anyway,
this is a feature that was in the Newton. I don't know if you remember back in the day. So Newton had this really great copy-paste thing where you could select a bit of text or whatever, and then you would drag it to the edge of the screen, and it would just create a little bubble on the edge of the screen, and you would just leave it there, and then you would navigate to wherever you wanted to paste it in, and then you would go back, pull that bubble out, and you'd have your little block of text, and you would just drop it where you wanted it. And I don't know why that never made it to any of the operating systems. I think that would just be a convenient little way to do that. It would just stick it to the side of the screen. You'd literally drag it over, and it would just stick there, just like your little trough analogy. But I guess we have third-party apps for that. Yeah,
that's what third-party apps are for, right? Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah,
and Yoink works really well with macOS 26 now too, I'll say. But go ahead. Yeah.
The other tip trick that I often use is just use expose features.
Right.
You can be holding on to something, dragging it, and you can expose. So you can expose, map out all your windows, and just drag it over to that window, and then hold it there, and that window will pop forward, and you can drop it that way.
Oh, I always forget about expose. That's a perfect use for expose.
Yeah.
And you use the F4 or whatever on your keyboard to do that, Adam?
Exactly, yeah.
F4 or F3? F3 on mine anyway. But
I
have so many gosh darn windows. It's
You're right,
I can't see any of them.
You're right. I never would have thought to use expose once I was dragging something.
Yeah.
Dude.
Interesting.
is like mind blowing. Gosh. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Lots
Love
of
it.
ways to handle this. All right, let's talk about Alex here, right?
Yep.
Alex says, in case someone has, in case someone as odd as me takes screenshots very often and doesn't use a multi-terabyte machine, thus may be interested in a bit of space saving, macOS has been taking screenshots in PNG format only, but the new macOS 26 Tahoe allows you to enable the high-efficient HEIF image format. It's a new row in the options of the menu. So in the screenshot app, you can choose that as an option. Choose how much brightness and color to capture. Below options. Oh, how I'm trying to read this and I don't understand the little.
I think he basically created a list, but put it in paragraph form of like the things you can do with it. So
Okay, so you can choose how much brightness and color to capture. Below options, select capture format and select HDR or SDR. HDR captures more color and brightness, but requires an HDR display to see the difference. SDR captures brightness and color, but is standard format for most computer displays and mobile devices. If you show an HDR screenshot on an SDR display, you see the SDR format. If you show an HDR screen recording on an SDR display, you see slightly reduced quality. So I guess you can kind of mess around with the quality. However, there's no options for using HEIF on non-HDR monitors. On HDR incompatible Macs or more likely basic displays. So no disk saving is possible via the HEIF format. It's a common case. Yet there is a 2017 terminal command that it looks like allows you to, I guess, force HEIC screen capture. And I'm sure we'll have this in the show notes. I'm not going to read it out because it'd be boring. He said Reddit saved the day on that one. And I've already taken thousands of screenshots and embedded them into docs. Thanks for the show. So you can move to HEIC format for your screenshots.
and you don't need macOS 26 to do this.
Oh, you don't?
Well, it's a new option in the everything he said is correct. That you Yeah, it looks like we're coming back.
Okay, so it wasn't just me.
Was that me?
It wasn't. Yeah. I thought it was me too.
Well, that was special.
We all went away, right?
Yes, we did.
Okay. What also was interesting, we connect with StreamYard for this. So this is a fascinating thing. I went and we all just lost our connection to StreamYard temporarily. This is at 10:18 Eastern on Friday the 26th. I'm logging this because I also could not connect to our Google Doc that we use for the agenda because I was going to put a timestamp in there in case I needed to edit. Like if I'm not going to edit this. This was only, less than 30 seconds. But if it was, 5 minutes of like, hey, Dave's spinning his wheels, that's not interesting. So I was going to cut that out. But StreamYard and Google Docs, are two different browsers for me, and in theory, two different endpoints, but clearly not two different endpoints because I think somebody's endpoint went belly up for a hot minute. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, because I was able to. I immediately went to terminal and pinged apple.com and was getting decent return times. So okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
I know. Very
weird.
Very interesting.
Okay.
Oh, David Klemkin says on the YouTube stream that Adam, you were the only one that was still live. That's interesting.
Yeah, I could see myself moving in the video. You guys went completely.
Okay.
I couldn't even see myself. I got spinning circles in 3 windows. So
same.
Yeah.
Okay, but you and I are both on the same provider, Pete. We're both on Fidium.
Yeah, there you go.
So, but we didn't lose access to everything, only some of the things.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Well,
all right.
So,
what I was saying is that you can do this in previous operating systems, right? With this HEIC
Yes.
thing. Apple only added it as an option in this latest macOS 26. But as Alex pointed out, there's a terminal command where you can enable it. And that terminal command he found was posted in 2017. So obviously it existed back then. You can also, if you don't want to mess with the terminal command, which we will put in the show notes, it's copy paste, you can do it in Onyx. And there is a new version of Onyx for macOS 2026 or macOS 26. So, yeah. But yeah, it's all there. And I just did it on, I haven't updated to 26 on the studio machine because it's my studio machine, and I will wait until probably December to do that. But I just did it here in the studio on macOS 15.7 or whatever it is that I'm on, which I think is right, 15.7.
Yeah. Just be aware HEIF is not, I mean, it's more well supported. It's not greatly supported everywhere. So you might be, if you're sharing things, needing to convert them back into JPEG or PNG or something.
Thank you. Yes, excellent advice. Yeah, I might regret these conversions, but they are way smaller than the PNGs that I was creating. So
right. Yeah, it is supported in pretty well supported in browsers now, which is kind of nice.
Oh, that's true. Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh.
Yeah. But it's not well supported in things like Zoom. So like at work, I can't, like when I take a screenshot with my phone and it comes over HEIF, I have to convert it before I drop it into Zoom.
Yep.
And the caveat is I think it's not supported in Zoom on the, I want to say on the PC. It just doesn't share well.
Yeah. I don't see it when I put it in Zoom. It does not appear like in the chat or whatever. It's treated like any attachment or whatever, just some random attachment. Yeah. Good point. I was thinking about something. Actually, this is good to talk about. If you were on the betas of any of the Apple OS 26, right? The day that the releases came out, even if you were fully up to date with the betas, developer or public beta, certainly developer beta in my case, if you turned off developer beta, you were offered the upgrade to 26, the release channel of 26. That's new. That has not happened in years past. I've always just switched over, and then I don't get offered an update until there's a 0.01 on the public channel or whatever. So I did. I moved over. There are some quirks with macOS 26 that we're going to talk about here in a little bit, and quirks with iOS 26. And my son has not moved his phone off of the developer beta channel, and he gets access to those bug fixes before I do. So I'm wondering if it's worth staying on the developer channel until like October or November when things settle in, because right now all Apple is doing is fixing bugs. Like they're not adding new features. It's not like the early days of the developer beta where it was way less stable. Now it's potentially way more stable because you're getting access to those bug fixes sooner. That's the logic argument that I'm making here. I'm not. It might prove out to be untrue, mind you, but I am tempted to go back to the dev beta for a couple of months until things are stable.
Yeah, might not be a bad idea.
I know.
Were you guys hit by the battery thing? I know there was a bunch of people complaining about battery life on iOS 26. It was happening to me when I was in Chicago, to the point where I went to the Apple store and bought a Belkin battery because it was so bad. But I have a feeling that it was more due to using location services in the city
Okay.
with all those tall buildings, and I think two things are happening. I think it was struggling more to get cell signal, so it was ramping that up a lot, and then also I think it was probably struggling to get GPS as well, because it seemed to get fine once I left Chicago. So I don't know.
Huh. I was not. I had battery issues for the first day,
Okay.
and then, but not like not the first day that it was released to the public. The first day that I had it on my phone.
Sure,
But
yeah.
I
that's
always
normal.
attribute that to that to me that seems normal. So yeah, I don't know. I do have some. There are some don't get caught things that we need to talk about because I caught myself, and others. There's actually more don't get caughts than we've typically had in an episode. So we got to get to that, and we will. The next thing that we want to do is talk about our sponsors. Starting with, well, automation, right? You've heard us say it a million times here on the show. Automation is the future. And thanks to AI, the future is now. But if you're still just talking about AI and not actually using it, well, I think now is the time to get on board. And our sponsor, Zapier, is the tool that lets you harness the power of AI to actually get things done. We use Zapier ourselves. We have for years. For example, every time one of you supports us via our premium contributions, Zapier takes that data from our website and automatically adds your first name and relevant info to a spreadsheet, a Google Sheet that we use, so we can make sure we thank you on the show. And that's just one of dozens of automations running behind the scenes. It happens automatically. Don't have to think about it. It's right there. No coding, no friction. Just save time and fewer mistakes. Zapier connects AI tools like ChatGPT and Claude to nearly 8,000 apps. Imagine AI-powered workflows that enrich your leads, resolve tickets, or populate content while you sleep. Join the 3.4 million companies already automating with Zapier and transform how you work with Zapier and AI. Get started for free by visiting zapier.com/MacGeekGab. That's zapier.com/MacGeekGab. And our thanks to Zapier for doing everything that they do and for sponsoring this episode. And look, if you're running a business, you want to grow your business, right? Of course you do. Everyone says it's all about saying the right thing at the right time to the right people. But how the heck do we even know what right is? Well, that's where our sponsor, Constant Contact, comes in. We're ramping up one of my other businesses right now, and I can't wait to dive into Constant Contact with it. Their all-in-one platform makes it so easy to build email, text, and social media campaigns in just a few clicks. Events, landing pages, yep, all right there in the platform. No more juggling tools that don't talk with each other or any of that mess. And Constant Contact's AI content generator, it'll turn your rough ideas into ready-to-go campaigns that look and sound just like your brand. Plus, you'll get automated sending, real-time reporting, and tools that actually help you grow sales. I mean, 97% email deliverability? Yes, please. Over 500,000 small businesses already trust Constant Contact. It's time to make your marketing simple and smart. Get a free 30-day trial when you go to ConstantContact.com. Try Constant Contact free for 30 days at ConstantContact.com. One more time, that's ConstantContact.com. Go visit it. Check it out. And our thanks to Constant Contact for sponsoring this episode. All right. Well, I mentioned that I got caught when I was in Canada. I used Mint Mobile, and Mint Mobile now has, as of I don't know, about a year ago or so, it has free. It's included data roaming in Canada. So great, you get 3 gigs free every month. And so it's like, great, we were going to be there for 4 days or something, 5 days. And so we got there, and when we landed, I went to use data, and it didn't work. I was like, okay, I got to turn on data roaming. Okay, that makes sense. So I turned on data roaming, and then it lit up, and I was great. Loved it. I was still on iOS 18 at this point because I had chosen, as I mentioned in the show, that I didn't want I wanted to wait until I was done with my summer travels to go move to the beta. So we got home. I moved to the beta that day. like that night. We arrived home. It was like, oh yeah, now's a perfect time. I was sitting on the couch. Great. So I did that. And for about the next week, mind you, this is the first week that I'm running developer betas. I was having all kinds of cellular connectivity. I noticed it especially when driving. It was like Apple Maps was constantly telling me it had to use offline maps, and I'm seeing myself connected. And I know many of you have figured out what's going on here because I connected these two things already in this little tip. But I just assigned this as a bug in Apple Maps on the new iOS 26, and my gosh, they're going to need to fix this. This is a disaster. And for some reason, I was like, shoot, but nobody else is reporting this. That means I'm going to have to go in and reset network settings. And there's a whole rigmarole of resetting network settings that you lose all your Wi-Fi passwords if you don't do it right, and you got to turn off iCloud syncing and hold your mouth just right. Otherwise, it's a big disaster. And so I went at this after like a week. I went into cellular settings and I saw that data roaming was still turned on. Now, because I'm on Mint Mobile, it's a prepaid cell plan, and so data. If I'm roaming in the U.S. here, they don't charge me more. I just don't get to use the data. If I'm on a Mint-capable tower, then it's good. If I connect it to somebody else's tower, I could have data if I were to have paid for it, but I did not, and so I get nothing. Turning off data roaming solved my problems. So the moral of the story is if you turn on data roaming on your main plan when you travel, you almost always turn it on eSIM plans, but that doesn't matter because they expire and they're gone. But if you turn it on your main one when you travel, set yourself a reminder to turn it off when you get home, because otherwise you're either going to pay more if you're on a plan like that, or you're not going to get service if you're on a plan like mine. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But yep, I got caught. Yipper.
Yeah.
Yep. So disable data roaming when you return from Canada, especially if you're a Mint customer. We have more about
Sim stuff, yeah. From
Sim stuff, yeah.
Pensacola Craig on. It says disable carrier SIM lock on a current phone. Many may be using the SIM lock feature through their carrier. This avoids bad guys from hijacking your number. Make sure to turn this off before ordering your new phone from an Apple or a carrier, because if you don't, you will have major issues because the number can't be moved from the old phone to the new phone. This may hit you during the fulfillment stage or when you get the new phone and try to migrate from the old to the new. It will give you errors when it gets to confirming the eSIM on the new phone when migrating from an old phone.
Interesting. Yep. Makes sense. Yep. Good advice. Don't get caught like that. I've also been having, I don't know if I got caught with this I guess getting caught with a bug is getting caught. I have several people in my life that don't use iPhones. Many bandmates, in fact. And so I have individual messages with them and group messages. On my iPhone, it's all working fine. On my Mac, receiving messages via RCS or SMS, totally fine. Sending messages via RCS or SMS, it appears as though it works on the Mac. The message never appears in that chat on my iPhone or any other devices, nor does it make it to its intended recipients. I have been messing with this for the last few days, and it seems like messages in iCloud is part of is where the problem exists. If I turn off messages in iCloud on my Mac, then I can send those messages. And then if I turn it back on, it seems like it works, but I'm not convinced that fix will persist. But the whole messages in iCloud syncing thing, it seems to be part of where this is breaking. And it is only macOS 26 that appears to be affected. My group texts when I use them on my macOS 15 machine here work fine. That even though my phone is on iOS 26. So I don't think it's an iOS 26 bug. I think it's a macOS 26 bug. So I share. Just be aware. And toggling that enable messages in iCloud on your Mac seems to fix it, at least temporarily. Can't promise, but yeah. Mac.
To unstick the stuck bit, eh?
You got to unstick the stuck bit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I like that. Yep. macOS 26, according to our friends at Rogue Amoeba, has a bunch of audio-related bugs. They've got a knowledge base article out about it, and I thought they did. I see. I have the URL wrong, guys. That's why I can't show it on the show. Now I can. There's some audio loss that happens when sample rates are mismatched, and it specifically, easy for me to say, affects sound source, because sound source will, if you want, let you send audio to multiple devices simultaneously, which can be very cool. But if they are not all matched with sample rate, one or more of them may not receive sound. And that's new as of Tahoe. I'm not convinced it's a bad thing, but I'm actually not convinced it's a long-term bad thing, because sample rate conversions, when they happen in software, cause all kinds of weird glitchy sound things. When we've had weird glitchy sound things on the show in the past, that's that's the first thing I go to. So if macOS is being more protective of or not allowing that scenario to exist, I'm not upset by that. I'm not certain that that's what's going on here, though, right? Like, I'm projecting maybe my wishes, that core audio is more stable in macOS 26. So that might truly be the case. I should actually ask. I'll share this conversation with Rogue Amoeba, but yeah.
No more chipmunking?
Yeah, right. Well, that's the other thing that could happen is the chipmunking. Yeah, where you start all sounding like this. Yeah. Which might be a nice way to record a show. What do you think, guys?
You get about 3% of the show episode being listened to, and then people tuning out. I could be wrong.
Yeah, we've lost them now. That's right.
All
so
right.
just be aware of that. I'll put that link in the show notes for anybody that wants to research deeper, too.
Yep. Hey, Joe has one for you new iPhone owners out there. And I actually had to go, I saw this and I had to research this because this is unbelievable to me. Like, I don't understand the thinking behind this one. But he says, hey, guys, just a quick tip. I got my new copper orange iPhone 17 Pro ordered. And also ordered Apple's clear case for the thing and was highly disappointed. The clear case covers about 2/3 of the back of the phone with a white label of some sort, so that the Apple logo shows up almost completely obscuring the orange color that you bought the phone for. So, short version, do not buy Apple's clear case. Yeah, they cover the orange color, which is
it's a
gorgeous.
clear case, except for the part that isn't clear, I guess.
Except for 70% of it is white. Yeah.
If you buy a white phone, it's clear.
Yeah. It's so that the Apple logo is centered in the area there. I don't know, dude. I can't.
Yeah. Stop it, Apple.
Knock it off. Yeah, and they want $50 for a case that's not clear.
That case is lying.
Why? Yeah, you want to? Yeah, that's right. We're Pete. We're in good company now.
That's
Apple
right.
are also liars because it's not a clear case. It's a clear case of lying. Oh.
Well, new show title there. I was thinking unstick the stuck bit, but
it's I mean, to be fair, the picture clearly shows that it's not clear, but
yeah,
the verbiage does not jive with the same thing.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Yep. It's a clear case of lying. So I'm really sorry about that. That's going to stick for a while, I think. Yeah. All right. What else do we got?
Was I next? I think I am. Yes,
Yeah,
I am.
I thought you
Mark
were.
wrote in with a question that turns out also to be a good "don't get caught" answer. So he writes in, I have this folder on my desktop. I have had this folder on my desktop since 2021. I just went to get something, and the content of many of them is 0 bytes. Where can they go? I do sync this desktop with my Mac at home. This one is at work. Pretty sure I have the desktop set up. Boy, new lips this week. To set up to sync. Where do I check? Thank you, Mark.
Yep.
That's well, you had the answer for that, Dave.
Yeah, I didn't realize that this was a question. I thought,
Well, I grabbed it to read it because it was a good "don't get caught." I'm sorry,
no, that's okay. Yeah, the Apple has moved this a few times over time, and
neglected to tell you.
Neglected to tell us. Yeah. So it is in. If you go to iCloud Drive on your Mac, then you used to see these things in the drive, right? The old iCloud Drive folders, or whatever they would call them, archived iCloud Drive folders. Now they are in it. Mark found the solution. That's why it was a "don't get caught." I think you just missed up in the text chain that he found the solution. So Mark should get credit for this, not me. No, it's totally fine. It's in your users folder, so your home folder rather. So for me, my username, my short username is Dave. So it's users Dave, and then right there at the top of my home folder is iCloud Drive Archive. So they are moving these things. Previously, they would put these things in the iCloud Drive, and now they are out of the drive and in your iCloud Drive Archive. Because I think people were getting confused, seeing multiple desktop folders and multiple documents folders inside their desktop folders and inside their documents folders.
Yeah.
And Pete, you caused a lot of grief for yourself.
I did. I lost 70 gigabytes of stuff because I didn't didn't realize what was going on.
You didn't realize what it was. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so now, I clearly you weren't alone, and now you get the iCloud Drive Archive. It's very clear what it is, and it's like in a separate place now, which I think is all. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I actually I was smart, and I wasn't going to lose that data. I used Super Duper, cloned it and everything, except that it was all off my drive.
It wasn't
out of that folder. It was not in that
Correct.
folder anymore. It was just
exactly.
a pointer to data.
Yep.
So,
yep.
Yeah.
So no, Mark, I don't get credit for that. I get credit for putting a little screenshot in our notes so I could talk about it easily. But yeah, no, Mark's the one that found that. And so it's just at the top level of your home folder now, which is a much better place for it, in my opinion. So love that. And Kiwi Graham offers a clarifying comment in the chat, which is helpful after the way this one evolved here on the show. He says, just to be clear, we're talking about the archive folders that are created when you switch iCloud Drive on again or off. When you switch it off and then turn it on again. Yes, and that is 100% correct. When you start getting into that scenario where iCloud Drive is turning on or off, which sometimes you have to do for troubleshooting. Now that's what we're talking about here. Yes, thank you, Kiwi Graham, for the clarification. Love that. I got caught again, guys. I broke
again,
the.
Dave.
Well, it's the sacred timeline problem, right? We recorded up until today is the first time we're like back in what I consider a normal schedule. But we had recorded some episodes out of sync and out of order and early because of I think it was just my travels, but maybe it was.
I was traveling as well. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, both of us had travels that caused the schedules, and then also Apple dropped the iPhones in the middle, and we didn't want to wait our reactions to that by 2 weeks or something. So It all got a little crazy, and I left the episode for Monday's episode, last Monday's 1108, as a draft in Apple Podcasts, not as published in Apple Podcasts. And Apple Podcasts is a little bit dumb. We put the audio in there ahead of time. I didn't want it to be there too early, so I didn't turn it on when we recorded it a week and a half before, and I forgot to go back in. And then when the episode actually dropped in the RSS feed, Apple's podcast isn't smart enough to just let that go, so it remained in draft. Thank you to Jessica and Ben and Bill and everybody else that waved as many flags as you possibly could for us, contacting us in all the ways you knew how to make sure that we knew that it was out in everything except Apple Podcasts. And I think we were delayed by about 10 hours, which is not great. It would have been longer because I was traveling when that episode was supposed to drop. And for me, it worked. So when I tested it, because I was testing it in Overcast. So yipper. Dope. Exactly. Yeah. But we've kind of ventured into questions territory here ish. So
we have.
Let's keep going with that until we run out of time, shall we?
Well, Louis, but no, not Louis, because he's from Montreal. So Louis writes in. He says, "Hi guys, insert gentleman joke here. All right. Stop swearing, there's gentlemen in the area. I'm about to set up an external Samsung portable T9 SSD to hold a 300 gig photo library for a family member. Not an Apple Photos library here, just straight directories and files. It will be connected to a 2024 iMac. I vaguely remember Dave mentioning to avoid formatting in APFS. What should I use as format to maximize file access and speed? Thanks, Louis from Montreal."
You want to take this one, Adam, or you want me to take it?
I want to hear what you have to say about APFS now, because I use it for everything.
I use it for everything
it's just my
too.
de facto now.
I think there was probably a time. I know there was a time when APFS was not the greatest thing to use for rotational drives, and candidly, that might still be true. But
Fair.
But I use it for everything anyway now. So even though it might not be the most efficient thing, and even on SSDs, I think at one Mac Tech conference, we talked about it on the show, so you're gonna have to go back and confirm all this. But I'm pretty sure somebody proved that I miss those Mac Tech conferences. It's so nerdy. Somebody proved that it APFS was 1% slower than HFS Plus even on SSDs, but it was remarkably slower on rotational drives than HFS Plus because it was built for SSDs and it leverages a lot of the benefits of SSDs with the expense of if you got to move heads around, then this is going to be maybe not the greatest, but. So I think that might be what Louis, I can't remember. I think he's told us the pronunciation of his name over the years. It might actually be Louis from Montreal. Oh, okay. I know. I want to say Louis too, but
when you live in a French city, man.
Exactly. Yeah. But I use it on everything like you, Adam. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. My old backup drives, I think, were even, and they were spinning 3.5-inch USB powered drives for doing Time Machine and Carbon Copy Cloner, CCC backup. Yeah. And I want to say those were even APFS, and I never had any issues with them that I'm aware of. I've replaced them now with SSDs. So
sure.
I don't have them connected to check them, but I'm pretty sure I formatted them APFS.
Yeah. That's what I would do these days.
I had taken the liberty to ask ChatGPT, and it basically said, the problem is with spindle drives, it's scattering metadata all over the place. And that's why it's slowing it down. A lot more head movement to go get it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep, makes sense. Okay, good. Yep. All right. I do have memories of warning people not to use APFS on exactly this, your backup drives, because in the earlier days of SSDs, we were generally only using SSDs for our boot drives, right? And then everything else was rotational. So there was a balance. Now, I still use rotational like you for some things, but a lot of things I'm just screw it. It's all SSD these days. It's all plastics these days, kids.
All right. So I move to Bill.
Yes,
Bill's
please.
question. Yeah, he writes in, hi, MGGers. At about 112 in show 1107, why do deleted files keep reappearing after reboot, included a discussion about how to troubleshoot and potentially correct desktop file syncing to iCloud issues. For me, this part of the response discussion was a bit fragmented and is not as clear as most of your troubleshooting suggestions. Could you please review this in an upcoming episode? I'm a longtime listener and really appreciate the information and insights you guys share each week. Thanks, Bill, aka Harry from Lewis.
Huh.
And
All
that
right.
is Lewis.
Yeah, right. That is Lewis. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, the way that I would troubleshoot desktop file syncing to iCloud is the same way I would troubleshoot file syncing in any scenario. And I remember this conversation, but there were a lot of moving parts to it, and this part did get sort of glossed over. Is that I figure out where the syncing engine, I try to figure out where the syncing engine looks as a source of truth. And with iCloud specifically, we get access to that source of truth at iCloud.com/drive. So to me, that's where I look, and it's like, okay, if I'm putting something on my Mac, does it appear in the web interface of iCloud Drive? And if I put something in the web interface of iCloud Drive, does it appear on my Mac? And is the same true for my iPhone and my iPad and my other Mac, right? So that is the way. It's a one variable at a time and checking each direction. And sometimes so now we know how to identify a problem. How do we correct it? Sometimes the process of identifying it, meaning that process, not a process, but that specific process of identifying it, will then also get it unstuck, because adding something new often is what needs to happen, because indexes, any one of these clients might think, oh, I'm all up to date. I don't need anything more, because it's just, its most recent file it thinks the same as the most recent file on the server or whatever, and it's not. And so putting a new most recent file on the server says, oh, I have things to go get. And then it just goes through its sync process and gets everything, hopefully. How about you, Adam?
Yeah, no, I think this conversation was related to deleting, but it's like the same thing, right? You delete the file, and if it's reappearing, check. I think your advice is the correct one, iCloud.com/drive. And is it actually deleted there? If it's still there, there's a chance it might sync back the next time you reboot, right? So that's what's happening. So then that kind of points to, okay, your Mac's not really syncing, and maybe a good way to try to fix it is, put a new file on or make a change there, and then make sure it syncs, and then you might be going again. Obviously, the extreme part of that is once you've identified whichever thing is not like syncing, if you're making changes and it's still not syncing, then, often I find just toggling drive sync off and back on again will kind of get things going again.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fair. And then you might wind up with one of those archive folders that we talked about before in your home folder. So go look for that too. Yeah. It won't always happen, that archive folder, but yeah, sometimes it will. So yeah. Yep. Where are we on time here? I think
about an hour and 15, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I think we should jump down to J.K. Dawson's one, because we asked in 1108 what you use AI for, and we got some responses, and I think this one happened in Discord, and there was a response to a response. So you want to take J.K. Dawson's here, and we'll kind of go from there. Pete?
Yeah. Great. So he writes in, what do I use AI? Using AI for recipes. Ask for recipes. I asked ChatGPT for a pasta primavera recipe with no squash or mushrooms in it, and with balsamic sauce, and it came back with one that it created, which was great. great and easy to generate recipes for what you have on hand. And that's a fantastic idea. I have used that before personally, never thought to say, but I will tell you this. I had the problem with it is I did it for Apple Crisp last year. And guess what? I said, give it to me one step at a time. And it blurted out the whole damn thing. And then I was like, okay, stop, go back to step one. Okay. And he gave me step one. I'm like, all right, I'm ready for step two. And it blurted out the whole thing. I was yelling at ChatGPT like you wouldn't believe by the time it was over with. Like, stop it. How many damn times do I have to tell you? One step at a time. I'm sorry. I'll only give you one. Then it would give me one step. And then the next on again. But that's a fantastic idea. I bet there's some amazing things it could come up with.
I like the idea that JK's idea of saying, give me this recipe with tweaks. But, I want Primavera with balsamic, not, this. And I don't want squash or mushrooms. I'll take all your mushrooms. Just send them this way. I love mushrooms. Squash, whatever. It's a consistency thing for me. It's a little, anyway, it's got to be just right. And even then, I've got to be just right about it. That's what it is. But I love this where you want to make some tweaks to a recipe. You don't have to find the recipe first and make tweaks. Just tell ChatGPT what you want. That's brilliant. Love that.
Yeah. And I bet even with cocktails, this is what I've got.
We've definitely done it with cocktails. Yes. Take a picture of what's in your bar. Send it to ChatGPT.
Boom. Oh, even easier than typing it in.
I've never done that before, mind you. I'm just coming to mind now. Oh, yeah. Oh,
well,
yeah.
I think, should we go to DJ? Because I think he has one that's kind of, or she, I guess I shouldn't assume things, might have one that is kind of related to what you guys are talking about. Not drinks, but says, I've been using it to make weekly menu plans based on our criteria. Then, once we settle on the menu, I have it create the ingredients list for all the recipes, combine them for reasonable total quantities, and buy and build a grocery list by area category in a grocery store. I have it list next to the item the amount needed for each recipe. So something like 2 32-ounce cartons of chicken stock. This is really helping us as my wife did this for our family for 40 years and she's tired of it. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. We were eating fairly badly for a bit until we worked this out. Much easier than creating this ourselves every week.
Yeah. Yeah, see, this is that quality of life stuff where AI can help, and it makes it fun, right? I mean, I know the novelty of it is part of the fun, but okay, like it's still fun. So
I have one that actually isn't mine. This came up on my trip. So we were doing a reunion with a bunch of high school friends. We all used to hang out in high school, and we don't see each other very often. It's probably been about 10 years since we all got together and did this. We did it in San Francisco about 10 years ago. We did it in Chicago this time, and a couple friend of ours had been traveling, and they said, we used it because we were going to be in a certain city in Europe in a day, and they didn't know what to go see. And they said, can you make us a itinerary for the day, including lunch and dinner plans and what should we see in this city? And they said it was the best plan. And most importantly, it gave them this little lunch spot that they never would have found off the beaten path. And they said it was just fabulous. And it was a wonderful day, and they didn't have to think about it. And they got to see things that they probably normally would not have seen if they just gone through a traditional, route.
Yes. I will add on to that. I recommend, especially if you travel, even if you don't travel terribly often, make a travel or interests project in ChatGPT. And then inside that project, have all your chats about this stuff and give it feedback about if it recommended a thing and you like this lunch place, tell it that, because now you're training it to tailor things even better for you the next time when you come up. Because Lisa and I have been doing this basically all summer. with the various places that we've gone. We haven't usually, and I love the fun part of before you go visit somewhere, researching it and talking about the things you're going to do and even planning out your days, you know, to whatever extent you like to plan out your days. We kind of like half plans for days, you know, but whatever, you know, do what you want to do. We just haven't had time to do that as much as we normally would have. And so we will get to a city and be like, all right, well, you know, we're here for some concerts at night because that's the only reason we tend to travel anymore. You know, but what are we going to do during the day? We don't want to exhaust ourselves, but we don't just want to sit around either, you know, and so it's this balance. And we've been giving it feedback. This past weekend, we were in Hampton, Virginia for some Fish concerts. And Hampton is the town that time is forgetting. It's not like, I don't recommend visiting there. There's not a whole lot. It's not a tourist town. The venue's cool. The Hampton Coliseum, it's a very, like, it's a cool venue. It sounds good. It's, you know, it's fun, easy to get out. But there's not much else to do, and we didn't rent a car. And so we told ChatGPT this, and it made some recommendations. We got recommendations from other people, too, because we'd asked around. But those people are making recommendations about what they enjoyed, and that's fine. ChatGPT is now learning what we enjoy, and it prioritized some recommendations for us. And we did. We went and visited Fort Monroe, which is a national monument there. I don't know, about 15 minutes from Hampton, Virginia. We Ubered over and back. And it was very cool. Like, we loved it. And it was the perfect little thing to do during the day. Then we went back and kind of napped in the afternoon and went to the concerts. But yeah, yes, making your travel itinerary, it's amazing for that. And gets even better as you give it feedback on things. So, yeah. All right, I think it's that time, guys. I think we've hit our limit for the day.
It's time.
Is it time? It's that.
It is time.
I'll find the band. Good news, the band still works. I assume you guys can hear. The
I
band
hear
still.
musica.
Amazing. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. Thanks for. Thanks for, supporting the show by listening, by sharing. Thanks. Okay, I'm distracted here. I'm going to say thanks to Cashfly so I don't forget. I always tell you to listen to our other podcasts, or I suggest. And it just dawned on me that recent episodes of our other podcast, each of us has had our daughters on our shows.
That's right.
Because
Adam does every time.
Yeah, every time. You do the
No fair, man.
Podcast. Yeah. Pete, you did an episode of So There I Was with your daughter recently.
Yep. You fly by your seat and your ears.
And I did, Geek Gab celebrated its 500th episode, and I did that with Mike Schulte, who's been on that show a bunch, and with Skylar, my daughter. So
I was going to say, Mike's not your daughter.
Not as far as we know. No. But it was great. I loved it.
Okay.
So
very cool.
So you can go listen to all those shows and hear us with our daughters. So evidently it was, bring your daughter to work month or something.
Apparently,
I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty special. Now I understand why you're doing what you're doing, Adam, and maybe I need to start another podcast. So.
Right.
Or maybe I just need to have Skylar on Geek Gab more. So there you go. Yeah. So thanks for hanging out with us, everybody, and thanks for all you do. It's nice to be back in the rhythm of a schedule. I'm looking forward to more of that this fall. I had too much travel this summer. Fun, right. All worthwhile. Yeah. Just a little bit zany. So.
And if you're watching on YouTube, you see a QR code that says go to macgeekgab.com/review. Give us 5 stars, please.
Also, feedback at macgeekgab.com if you want to send in your questions, tips, and don't get caught.
Did you say feedback? Got caught. Feedback at macgeekgab.com, Adam?
That's what he said. Feedback at macgeekgab.com.
Don't get caught, folks. We'll see you next week.
Made on.